Hello, young innovators. Welcome to Aadhaar coding classes. Today, we are going to learn how to create calculator application on MIT App Inventor. Let's start with the first thing, which is the text box. I need two text box on my screen to write two different numbers which we want to calculate. So I'm going to take two text box on my screen. I will be selecting both of them using the control key. Now, if you want to give some background color to these, you will be welcomed here. I am selecting light gray color as the background for both the text box. I'll be keeping the text type as monospace. In the hint option, we will be doing it separately for each of the text box. So right now I'm not touching that part. And I only want that the numbers should be visible on my screen and not the alphabet so that we can only type numbers for calculation. Now for height, I'm going to keep the height for both the text box at 7% and width as fill parent. We are done with the text box. Now I'll select the text box 1. Here in the hint option, I'm going to write enter first number. This will allow the person to understand what they have to do in the first text box. Similarly, I'm going to write enter second number in the hint option. After completing this much, we need a label as well on our screen. So I'm going to take a label, keeping it on my screen. This label is here to show the result. So whatever is the calculation we are doing, after that calculation is done, the result will be visible on this label. Again, need to select some background color, which I'm going to take as orange. I'm now going to take the font size here as 18. Font type will be monospace. In the text option, for now, I'm going to write result. For later on, whatever will be the answer, I'm going to see that over here. Again, height I'm going to keep as 7% and width will be fill parent. After completing this much, it's your choice where you want to see the text alignment. For text alignment, I'm keeping it as center. So whatever is the result should come in the center of the screen. Same thing we can follow for our text boxes as well. I will be keeping the text alignment to center. So whatever text we are writing, that should display on the center of the screen. After completing this much, we need at least 4 operational buttons. So I'm going to take one layout, which is named as table arrangement. In this one, if you notice, we have the option to select columns as well as rows. I know that we need to use 4 operators: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. That means at least 4 boxes are required. But we want to keep some gap between them. So I'll be taking 3 columns and 3 rows. Now we have to select the height because we are taking 3 different buttons here in each column and in each row. So I'll be keeping height here as 10% for each of them. For each of them. So I'll be making height as 30% for overall. And width will be fill parent, or maybe I can keep it as 100%. Now, if you notice, I will be dragging few buttons inside the table arrangement, and we need to fix these buttons according to our choice. So I'm going to take 2 buttons here, another button leaving 1 space, again another button leaving some space. Now you can notice 4 buttons are already arranged. We need to select the buttons and we need to select their sizes. So I have selected all 4 components as you can see. For the font type or font size, I'm going to keep it as 18 again. Font type will be monospace. Afterwards, we have to select the height. As we have mentioned, I'll be taking height as 10% for all of them. And width I'm going to keep as 30%. Now in this case, there is a possibility that you feel that it's not looking fine. But don't worry, on your mobile, when you check it, it will look nice. Now we need to change the text for the buttons. So I'll select button number 1. In this case, the text for this button should be, for example, addition. So I'm writing addition. Similarly, for button number 2, I'm going to write as subtraction. For button 3, it should be multiplication. And lastly, button number 4, that will be division. Now, after selecting all these things, if you find the text is coming out of the buttons and you want to increase the width of these buttons, you are free to do that. I'll try to do the same thing. We'll select the 4 buttons again and I'll keep the width as 33%. If you still feel some issue, I'll change the text size to 16 to make sure that it's not looking bigger. After this, I'm going to keep a background color for all of them as cyan. When you will connect your phone, you will be able to notice the changes, how they are coming on your mobile screen, and you can adjust later on. So what will happen is every time you write two numbers on the text box 1 and text box 2, and you have to select a function, whichever operation you want to do. For example, addition, it will start showing you the result. If you want to do the subtraction and so on. So we are done with the designing part, and now it's time for us to go to the blocks area. Now in blocks area, as I have mentioned, each button is going to tell us about the information. So I'll be taking a button which is saying when button 1 click do. Now it might be confusing that which button we are using for which particular operation. So we can rename them. I'll be renaming button 1 as addition, button 2 as subtraction, button 3 as multiplication, and button 4 as division. After completing this, we can go back to the blocks area. Now, as I can see, whenever I'm pressing on addition button, then we want that the numbers should get added. So I'll take this, and whatever is the result we are going to get, that should get displayed on the label. So I'll be taking set label 1 text 2 and add this addition block. Now we need to add two numbers which are there inside the text box 1 and text box 2. So I'll be taking text box 1 text plus text box 2 text. We have to duplicate the same thing again for addition, multiplication, division, and subtraction. So I have duplicated everything here. We'll change the name of the button. Similarly, we have to select the operators as well. So this is for division. So from math block, I'm going to select division. Similarly, I'm going to take multiplication as well. And I'm going to take subtraction also. Then we have to adjust these buttons inside each of them. Okay. Now we have to change the text box name also for the second number.